Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Hope everybody is adjusting to the daylight saving time. It's been a little bit of a nightmare this year for me. I don't know if it's the older I get, the more it affects me or what, or I just might be cranky. I don't know. Anyway, kind of wanted to go over a new song that I'm working on. I've really been into minimal synth, Coldwave, Darkwave. They all kind of jumble together in their genre. So basically what I mean by Coldwave is, if you're familiar with Joy Division, I would say some of their stuff might be considered coldish wave, minimal synth. If you really want to get into it, I would suggest maybe looking at a band called Snowy Red. I'll put a link to their album in the description below. For newer stuff, maybe Lebanon Hanover. They have a really cool song that I absolutely love called Schwarzenegger Tears. If you happen to listen to that song, you'll absolutely love it. So I'm just kind of started this song up and kind of just playing around with some things. Thought I'd kind of show you what I'm doing and maybe do a bass line. So what I've got here, as you can see, I've got a dry kick, a wet kick, a main kick, which I just chopped up, a kick with... what the heck? It's got some filters on it there. Got a snare, and I got some FX stuff here, some reverse stuff, and that's about it for now. So let me kind of go over what I've been doing. Alright, so the dry kick, it's just a sample of, I think I got it from Arcade. So let me show you kind of what it sounds like. I'll take everything off. It's really not mixed yet, so it's just kind of in its infancy, I guess you'd call it. So let's listen to the kick. Kind of got that metallic sound going for it. Alright, so what I do to that, usually, or what I did to it, is I just took some of the high end off here. You see I took some high end off, because we really don't need that, and I put a Shadow Hills compressor on, which is a cool compressor. It's like a 3-in-1 compressor, so you've got like this little guy here, optical, and then you've got a discrete over here, and then you've got, you can run it through different things. So you've got like nickel and iron and steel, and I ran mine through steel, put it into the stereo mode so it sounds, so this side doesn't do anything. So let me show you what it sounds like. Okay, here's without, here's with. As you can see, it's just like pounding the thing right there. I just did that for effect more than anything else, and that's all I've put on it so far. I do have an Eventide that I might put on there, but I'm not going to do that yet. Next one is the wet kick. So same kick here, so it's the same thing here, same sample. I just added some other things to it. First thing I did is I used a Greg Wells piano core. It's really not meant for that, I guess, but I went ahead. I love this preset, the Radiohead setting, because it's lo-fi, so I took that and I bring it down a bit, and here's what it sounds like. It's kind of fun. And then I added a Moger Foger pedal. I added a low pass filter on it. Pedal, so this is what it sounds like with the pedal and the Greg Wells. And now I'll put the two together. So, I got to mix them together, but you kind of get the idea what those are all going to be all about. Next thing I've got so far, I've got a kick drum, which is another sample. I chopped it up into heartbeats, and what I did on that is put an EQ on it, put an SSL EQ on it, and what I did there, it looks like, what did I do? Alright, I took some of the low end out here, cranked some stuff around 5K, and it's about, took some stuff up around 60 or 70, I guess. So this is what it sounds like. I'll take everything off. Alright, that's what it sounds like with everything off. We'll solo it. Kind of fun. So, sounds like a heartbeat. Alright, here's with the EQ on. So, add a little oomph to it. Next thing I did, I put a decapitator on it. If you don't have decapitator, go out to Sound Toys and buy the decapitator. Decapitator is your friend. Decapitator will never let you down. And let me show you what I do with decapitator here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You see how that makes it sound really cool. All right, and since I want it to be more like minimal wave, I went ahead and um, put isotope vinyl on it. So what vinyl does, it's going to give it that. Let's see, I put it on like a 1980s record, a vinyl. We got lo-fi sound going, got somewhere, got some dust and some warp. So let's see what it sounds like. Sorry, I got to move my mouse around here. All right, let's give it a try. You can hear the crackles. Cool. All right, so that's that so far. Next thing of this thing is just a dry kick. So it's the dry kick here. Only thing I did is I put a filter freak on it, so it's going to do a bunch of filter stuff. So here we go. I guess I should move that up here. So I mix these three together and we'll get hopefully something that sounds decent. Alright, next thing I did a snare. I'm a huge proponent of Phil Collins' snare on everything and anything. It doesn't matter what genre it is. I don't care if it's the blues. I don't care if it's jazz. I don't care if it's death metal. The Phil Collins snare deserves to be on absolutely everything. And I'll show you how I did it. So, what I did here, I'll show you what the snare sounds like by itself. Alright, by itself. Sounds like a snare. Alright, first thing I did was I added a Shep's EQ, Shep 73, which is a emulation of a Neve 1073, which I can't afford a real one, and I don't even know what I'd do if I had a real one. I have nowhere to put it. But what I did is I watched a bunch of videos on Andrew Sheps, the guy that invented the Shep 73, and also he's probably one of the best mixing artists or engineers in the world, and kind of did his copy on a snare. And what he does is he takes a high pass at 80, takes some low at 220, adds a little low, and at 7.2 he adds some stuff. I don't know why it's 7.2. I tried around the other things thinking maybe 7.2 isn't right for a snare. It was right. I was wrong. So, I went with him on that. So this is what it sounds like with his stuff on it, or with his or with the Shep 73 on it. Adds a little more punch to it. Alright, and here's the big secret sauce to do a Phil Collins snare. So, as you see here, I have everything going to a bus. And on this bus, first thing I did, I'll show you how to do this. First thing you do is on the bus, I compressed the heck out of it. And I compressed it with a thing called the Smasher, Pulsar Smasher. It's basically an 1176 with all the buttons pushed in on steroids. So, it adds a really cool sound and smashes it very much. So we'll see what I'm doing right here. So I've got that ready to go, got the bus in there, so I'm sending, so everything's coming out there, and I'm also sending it to a bus so I can control what's coming out. So this is what it sounds like smashed down. You see right there, it's just like knocking it out. Alright, so you do that first. Next thing you do, you want to put a big reverb on. I chose to use the EMT 140, which is a plate reverb, and I put a huge setting on it, big and bright, and then I kind of made it even bigger and brighter. So this is what it sounds like with both those two things on it. So you see how the reverb just kind of goes and goes and goes there. So it's a long tail on the reverb. So the secret to the Phil Collins snare is those two things and a gate. And what a gate does, exactly what you think a gate does. It opens and closes based on a threshold. So to get the Phil Collins sound, you put a gate on there and you want to just chop that reverb off pretty quick. So here's what it sounds like. Well, all three on there. There you go. I'll put the kick in too. Alright, cool. So that's how you do the Phil Collins snare. It's pretty cool. It's a lot easier than when it was invented back when they screwed something up on the SSL talkback mic, and there's a whole video on it and how he did it, and it was a total accident, but it's a pretty cool story. Next thing I did an electric, kind of like, it reminded me of Flock of Seagulls. Let me take this thing off of it. If you listen, it sounds kind of like a Flock of Seagull-y. So, kind of neat sounding. Put this thing from output called movement on, and what it does is I made my own little setting here. So it's got some delay, distortion, a filter, it's got some reverb, and over here it's got compression, distortion, and a little delay. Over here it's got some lo-fi, does these for 5 bars. This one, L2 for 5 bars, and all these are set on 5 bars. So here's what it sounds like with it on. So I'll tweak that eventually. I don't know if I'm going to keep it that long or not, but for now I like it. And then I did something very exciting here. I reversed it. So I took this whole thing and just reversed it. That is a cheap trick how to do it for another transition or another effect. And I put movement on it as well. Did I put the same thing on? I can't remember. Yes, I put the same thing on. So here's what it sounds like going the other way. Yeah, it's kind of cool, yet kind of creepy. Don't know if I'll keep it or not, but it's good for now. And the next thing I did I do the exact same thing here? Wow. So what we're going to do is completely ignore what I just did over here. So this is nothing really. Now, next thing I need to do is kind of create a bass line. So I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of do the bass line right where the snare comes in. And I'm just going to record a few things and kind of go with that, and we'll see how it sounds afterwards. We're going to use a virtual Oberheim. Here's what it sounds like. Let me just show you real quick here. I'm playing on, you can't see it, but I have an Arteria keyboard down here. It's like a little teeny version of this guy back here. So here's what it's going to sound like, this thing. Alright, so we're going to try that. So I'm going to try to record it and see what happens on it. And we'll take it from there. Okay. So good at that, we're going to redo it because I totally lost my spot there. Okay, here we go. Try it again. So I did about 5 takes there, and I don't know if I like any of them, to be honest with you, but let's try number 1 here. I'm just going to listen to that soloed real quick. Great, that's working real well. Real proud of that. enough for what we're doing here. So let's just tweak this a little bit. So first thing we do is just flatten it. That gets all the takes there. Usually I'd go through and comp them, but it's a bass line. It's not the most complicated thing I've ever done in my life. So let's go ahead and just quantize things here. You can select everything, and we can quantize everything to whatever note we want. Let's do a quarter note here. So it quantized everything here. I want everything kind of pretty much on the grid. Let's see, I can go over a little bit. Oh, that's way off. That's special. So what do we got here? So we want to go G, E flat, F, D, G, E, G, E flat, and then that's the wrong key, so let's do F. Let's listen to the last four, see how they sound. That'll work. Oh, see that? That did not work, because look at this, we're off here. So I gotta move this guy back over here, move him over here. Alright, so 16, 17, 15, let's try it again from the beginning. Okay, so I guess that's the bass line. Let's see here how long we've been recording this for. Let me double check one thing here. We're going 17 minutes. Okay, I am going to go ahead and stop this then, and maybe do another video later in the week. And what I'm going to do before the next video is I'm going to mix all this down so it sounds a little better and get it panned and everything, and I'll just go over a quick refresher, and we'll maybe find some new instruments and take it from there. Cool. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or any suggestions, leave me a comment, shoot me an email. Talk to everybody soon. Thanks. Bye.